Hi, this is Rudy Rodriguez with the High Profit Event Show. And on today's episode, we have a very special guest, Mr. Randal Davidson. Welcome, sir.
Hey, Rudy. It's good to see you.
Also, Randall, I'm really excited to have you on here. You and I have been acquaintances and business associates for a few years now, and we've worked multiple events together. And I've had the privilege and opportunity to watch you and your team, do amazing work. And before we jump in, and I want to highlight a couple of really cool things about your background. One, I know that you've been in the financing business and specifically within the event space for decades, and you even worked with Rich Dad Education to help them set up all of their back end financing processes. So pretty cool. And I know you've also been behind the scenes with some other really big names since then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Randall, let's jump in, man. Love to hear a little bit about your story. And, you've been in this for 29 years, like kind of give us the genesis of how you got into financing, how you got into the events, and love to hear a little bit about your background.
Sure. So I've been in mortgages. So I've been in the mortgage business for 29 years, and I did everything from obviously getting mortgages for people, developing property, doing all types of real estate, all that kind of stuff, building a whole big business in regards to owning my own mortgage company. And as we have kind of grown, and then of course I went through the whole 2009 episode when things were doing great. I was there when you could do stated income loans. I was in it, and we were killing it, and we were doing a great job. And then everything changed and crashed and shifted, and I went from having all this different stuff out there. I had, I don't know if you care to know, but I had almost 300 lots and different things that were all out and going. And then everything just kind of turned, and it shifted. The industry shifted to where the mortgage broker had to kind of shift away from being a mortgage broker and had to become a banker. And so I ended up working with a company. I'm not sure if you're familiar with some of the big names, but Bank of England. I worked with Bank of England. I worked with First National Bank. And in both cases, we were able to kind of reset the industry and put things in a good place. And while I was coming along and working in that space, I had a brother who actually was connected with Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki's group. And they had no way to do financing for this type of client. They were trying to just do the simple, go out and get credit cards and good luck kind of a thing. And so we called it kind of the Wild West back then. And anyway, so they asked me to come in and see if I could put together some compliant financing that would allow them to offer financing for their people and at the same time stay compliant so that they were safe and they could stay within the requirements that the FTC has when it comes to this industry. So anyway, I went over there, helped them get that set up. I helped them get financing. I had to go through all of the ups and the downs and the pushes and pulls with the attorneys to get it all completely right and get it locked into where we could offer financing to their groups. And I did it in the US, and then we moved. I set up their organization there, put together their teams. Then I moved over to Canada, set it up for them in Canada, and then the US, or then the UK, excuse me. Spent a lot of time in the UK and then Australia, getting all these places and things set up. And then at that point, once I had all this all in place, we decided we could expand beyond just Rich Dad. And so that's where we began to bring on other companies and multiple organizations to kind of help them build their businesses and build it to grow. So we've put together a system now that is, quite frankly, it's pretty cool because we have a system that handles multiple lenders all at once. They can go in, they can do a soft pull, they can check and see what the client's looking for, what they need, get a quick, safe look and see what that looks like without having to make a final decision, or at least having to feel pressure. And then if they like what they see, that they can go in and move forward with that. And we've decided we've actually been able to expand out beyond just one specific type of loan. And we have now multiple types of financing options to really open that net so that we can get as many clients as possible into programs that are going to help them build their own visions and their own dreams. And so Our standard specifically, we're honest, principled purpose is our motto, and we are looking for really helping people reach their visions and their dreams, and that's what we focus on.
Awesome, Randall. Thanks for that background. Really cool to hear how you came into the industry. And I definitely have noticed that I've been in the space for a while as well. I noticed there's some people in the financing space that maybe they don't have other people's best interest in mind first.
Yeah.
And one of the things I've worked with some of those companies, and one of the things I appreciate about you and your company is that your mission and your family-owned business as well. You guys work very closely together. Your reputation is very important to you, and you really do take care of clients, all the way through the process of understanding how to use financing and getting financing and getting into their respective coaching or mentorship program. Really, really cool to watch, the work that you do. And it's been a major lift in business for a lot of the partners that we've worked with. Sometimes as much as 40% or more that I've seen, simply because they now had a financing option for people that may have not been able to have access to the cash, right out of their own pocket. So Randall, maybe it'd be pretty cool for you to share a little bit about, that like how you assist people who are running events to help their clients get access to other people's money so that they can join their high-end education programs and do it in a way that is really beneficial to all parties involved. So I'd love for you to kind of share a little bit about what you do and how you do it.
So I'll tell you this. The one thing I will say for me that's a big deal is I'm not a sales guy trying to be a finance guy. I'm a finance guy doing a finance job. And the way I see it is that we recognize that just having an option sitting in your back pocket is not enough. The fact is you need to have, that's why we have people that actually go to your events. We have a full service. A lot of people don't really understand what a type of finance or a type of loan might be. And so they get spooked, they get nervous, they get scared, they don't know what they're dealing with. And if we have somebody there that can actually be there for them, answer questions for them, that's why our conversion rates are so high when we're at those events, is because when we're there, a person can come in, they're comfortable. We make sure that they are familiar with what it is that they're getting, what it looks like, what it's going to do for them, how it's going to benefit them, and really kind of give them a little bit of a guidance as to, okay, this is the reason why you're doing this. Your goal is to bridge the gap from where you're at to when you can start making money. And by us being there, we do a couple of things. Number one, so part of our process is, of course, to have somebody available that's a live person that you can talk to, have your clients talk to, and get response immediately. So our approvals are instantaneous. We can get those approvals right there on the spot. The customer knows exactly what it looks like. There's no surprises. There's no, oh, by the way, this is this or this is this. We handle it right there and then. My team, we've been around credit for a whole long time. You know that. I mean, I can tell you pretty much by credit score. Someone gives me a credit score, I can get a good feel as to what's going on with what's happening in their lives. And it kind of also can give me a direction as to where the best fit is for them. But a lot of these people, like I say, they don't understand when I say, oh yeah, you can get an installment loan for 36 or 60 months. A lot of people will just go, okay, what's that? Or I can get you credit lines, I can get you business credit lines, or I can give you personal credit lines, or I can get you, different types of financing options. They don't know what those are. And so we can be there to kind of give them a little bit of comfort, quite frankly, so that they can say, oh yeah, I know that's simple installment loan. That means I get all the money in my account. That means I can take care of the program that I'm buying right off the bat. Those are the kind of things that we work on from that side, is to really kind of give them a comfort and a peace. And of course, listen, the hardest deal is actually to make sure that we don't have people that don't get approved feel rejected or dejected. We want them to still feel like that they want to move forward. We want to still feel like that whatever their dream is, their vision is, we're not stopping them to reach it. We're just here to help them if we can, to help them take that to the next level. So that person that doesn't get approved is just as important as the person that does. And a lot of times that just takes some time where we can sit back and say, okay, you've got a collection. How old is that collection? What does that look like? Oh, it's going to take you, you've got a collection that's been out for 3 years now or whatever. Okay, it's going to take you 1 more year and 1 day to reach that, to get where you need to go, or do this, this, and this, and it'll raise your credit score up to where it needs to be. Or if you take care of this item, or if you take care of this, you can get where you need to go. And so I'm not someone that's going to be a credit repairer. That's not what I do. But at the same time, I've been around this business long enough to know pretty closely exactly what those steps need to take to get you there. So if I can help that person, that may mean they may not be able to get financing now, but we can get them financing in, let's say, 3 months or 4 months. We'll let you know so that you can keep them in your system, so that you can reach back out to that person when the time's right and still get them the financing that they need to get you into your program. So we kind of want to help everybody we can, and we can give them the best solutions for them. We want to make sure that, like I say, I'll tell people straight up when I'm sitting in the room, I'll say, listen, at the end of the day, you're the one that's got to make this payment, not me. So you got to feel comfortable with it. And when we get to those points, one of the things that I love about what we do is that if someone takes money from a 401k, let's say, that was sitting there idle, wasn't doing any good, and then they just use it and buy a program with it, that's still money. There's nothing really changing their life. They just moved it over from here to there. If they got financing and used other people's money, then they're getting a monthly boot kick in the pants. You got to get started. I did this. I need to get this rolling. I need to get this active. I need to get this making, starting to make money for me. So I love the fact that we are, as a third party, we step in, we can help those people get the financing in place, get them locked in, but also kind of help prod them along, because everybody in this business wants their people, for the most part, want their people to succeed. They want the people that buy the programs and their stuff to succeed. Our job is to just help them get there and to help them get along. So I don't know if I answer your question, but that's how that works.
Better than I could have hoped for. There's a few things you mentioned that I would love to highlight. One of the point you made is that the person who doesn't qualify for financing is just as important as a person who does, and I think that's a really important belief and mindset to have in this business, in the education business. People that really want to make a difference for others and leave them feeling good about their experience, regardless of whether or not they become a customer. Right. I think that's a great point you made. Yeah, so I do appreciate the way you highlight. The other point you made that I want to highlight is this idea of sometimes people that don't qualify right away, or they need a little bit of work done with their credit, what have you. Because you take such great care of them in the beginning, and we nurture them, they come back 2, 3, 4, 5, sometimes 6 months or a year later, and then they're in a different situation, and they are able to qualify for financing. And I've seen that. I've seen that working with you multiple times. I look back and I see, 3, 4, 5, 6 months later after an event, clients have come back and follow through, which is really beautiful. And likely that was a sale that wasn't going to happen, right, without that energy. So really cool to highlight that. The other thing I want to highlight here for the episode, and I know this is not a promise, so you can't make any kind of financial claims, but in the right situations, with the right qualifications for the client, I've seen some clients being able to get excess lines of credit for as low as 0% interest for 12 to 24 months. And that's been a game changer for people to be able to have that runway, to be able to invest and to have, monthly payments that were, just a few $100s a month for a high-end education program. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And we're going to try and do everything we can to reach that. And knowing a little bit more about who your client is helps us understand a little bit as to the best way to handle that person. So if you are in a position where you're trying to help them build a business, let's say, or they need extra capital, great. Listen, those are our business and personal credit lines that we have. We have a specific place that really fits, where someone can come in and get 60, 70, 80, $100,000 in business and personal credit lines. And they do come in at 0% for 12 to 18 months. And they do give that person that little jump, that little leg up that they're looking for. And so if we can give them that runway space and we give them a little bit of a head start, that doesn't necessarily benefit you or I now. It helps us for the future. It helps your client for the future. So we're always going to, we have a back end team whose job it is to make sure that the funding comes through. So it's not just about getting the approval at the event. It's about following through, making sure that they complete all the processes that need to be taken care of so that when the funds are ready and available, they can move right in to get right into the training that they're moving forward with and get them started and rocking and rolling with it right away. If we can get them additional capital on top of that, that they can then hold back, because it's a credit line. That means that you're not paying on anything until the funds to use it, but having access to it and then being able to basically use it as a revolving, then you're going to be able to have that person have the money they need to get into for marketing, or have that money to get in for, if it's real estate or whatever it is. We all know that when you're starting a business, it's always the unknown costs that you got to be prepared for. And it's those unknown costs that you want to do that. And I'll tell you this is the other thing that I say a lot is that, banks don't like to lend people money that need it. They like to lend people money that don't need it. And when they need it, it's too late. If you wait till then, it's too late, because now they're going to go, wait, this person's desperate. I'm not prepared for that. But if you can get it ahead and you can get credit lines where they're just there and available, sitting in your desk drawer, ready to go, now you're getting yourself in the right spot. And, we've always got the bank's golden rule, the golden rule for banks, right? He who has the gold makes the rules. Well, that's the reality of this. We want to make sure that we play by their rules, but at the same time, give ourselves as much benefit and as much push forward as we possibly can to help you move forward.
That's awesome, Randall. I appreciate everything you highlight here and everything you're sharing, especially on the OPM points, and how intelligent it is to use credit wisely when done correctly. It's one of the best things you can do in business, right? As taught by Robert Kiyosaki and Rich Dad Poor Dad, right? Leveraging other people's money, time, other people's systems, etc. So, Randall, we're just in our last couple of minutes here. I'm curious to ask you, if people want to learn more about you and your services and how you can assist them and get, more clients at their events, so what's the best way they can reach you?
So what we would want to do is we want to have a few minutes and take a few minutes with each person. We want to make sure that we vetted the people that we work with. It's really important in this industry that we do that. In order to kind of get that moving, my first step would be go to my website. Now for the business to business side, it's thfunding.com. You can also go to trueheroesllc.com. That's more on the customer facing side. But on the business to business side, thfunding.com is going to be a quick synopsis as to what we do. And you can click on the business where it says business, click there and it'll take you through and it'll break down all the different things that we can offer for you. When it comes to the back end, we've got a back end team whose job it is just to do the processing and to keep you up to date. We want to make sure that the client is very aware from day one, from the moment we're finished. We want to report back. As you know, we report back every single time we speak to somebody, one of your clients. We don't consider those my clients, and we do not market to your clients. We only work with people that we're only here to help you as your resource. So you are our client, not your clients are not our clients. They're your clients. So
I'm glad you made that extra point there, the non-solicitation. That's really important, especially in the education space. I've seen that go wrong a few times. Yep. And to clarify, Randall, here, I pulled up your website, thfunding.com. So thfunding.com, who is that for specifically? Is that the website for a business owner who is looking to acquire funding? Is that what that's for?
That's for a business owner who's looking to use it for their clients. So if you are, any of the companies that we've talked to, Eben Pagan, somebody that we work with, but a lot of these people that you go there first, and then it would just give you a basic run through. Click on that you want to have a conversation with us. We'll want to go through the details specific, make sure that it's the right fit for you. We have a lot of different ways that we can do it, including our little fun bot. So if somebody just wants to have it on their page, we can do that, all the way down to the full service. And of course, everything in between. So Again,
Okay.
I'm not a sales guy trying to be a finance guy, as you know. I'm a finance guy.
That's great. Yeah, you can nerd out on that stuff, man. Okay, so to clarify, thfunding.com would be the website to go to for our audience who are business owners who are looking to apply to bring in your services as a resource for their audience, their attendees, their mastermind members. Is that correct?
Correct. And if you've got someone, you bring up your, Puerto Rico, we have lending and finance in Puerto Rico, Canada, the US, Australia, the UK. Make sure that you note that so that we're aware, because each one has their own little different way they do things. And we're actually working on, for the future, we're working on a system that will centralize all of it. It's going to be amazing. That's what we're working on now.
Really neat. Good point to highlight that you can provide funding not just in the U.S. but other places as well on that list. So, thank you, Randal. Man, this has been a great interview. I've learned a few things from you today, which I really appreciate. Do you have any final comments for our audience before we wrap up?
I think the only thing I would probably say, Rudy, is you were asking me a little bit before we started this, kind of where you could see things would need to be, a little bit different here or there, how I could see things. I've been to a whole lot of events. I mean, lots and lots and lots, hundreds of events. And we have a team that goes out every week to events. And I will tell you that having a support in the back of the room is so critical. Having a good, strong team with you makes the difference. So we want to make sure that we're there to support. We want to make sure that your people are setting their expectations right, setting the teams, setting everything up right. And then your sales are a big piece. So
that's right. Thank you, Randal.
Appreciate working with you. So it's good.
Yeah, it's been great working with you too, man. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and we'll complete this episode. By the way, for our audience listening to this episode, if you're finding value from this, absolutely go to his website, thfunding.com, and apply to learn more. If you got value from this episode, subscribe if you haven't already. We release a new episode every Tuesday, and share this message with someone, share this episode with someone you think would benefit from learning more about Randal and his services. Again, thank you, Randal, for being on today. I really appreciate you, sir, and I look forward to the next event we get to work together.
It was a pleasure. Thanks, Rudy.
Thank you.